Welcome to JCTV Spotlight on the Arts special presentation, coming to you from the studio at Lincoln University in our capital city of Missouri, Jefferson City. Spotlight on the Arts is endorsed by many artists, art lovers, musicians, and what have you. And we thank you for being a part of that as a viewer. I'm your host, Rick J. We meet a father and son artist team, Ralph and Brett Cannell, who through tragedy still find their way to the canvas or drawing board. Ralph and Brett, it's my privilege to have you here as my guest today on Spotlight on the Arts. I look forward to visiting with you. So thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Well, Ralph, I will turn to you first and ask you to give our viewers a little bit of insight into what has faced you, if you can, and your family that has brought you back to your love of art. If you will, give us a little bit about your beginnings and your birthplace, any schooling and what have you that can identify with. I know you was a paramedic in the past, so
well,
please.
I started art young, like probably every artist that you've ever had on here.
Yes.
And became a father and got, I had to grow up, go to work, and I didn't have time for that. And then in '07, I was involved in a motor vehicle accident in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, and we rolled the car. The driver went out the sunroof the first flip, and
I see.
It ended up my heart stopped, and the helicopter took me to Parkland Hospital. I broke my neck in 3 places and had 31 fractures overall.
I see.
And stayed in rehab for months, just trying to relearn things I did as a kid, like brushing your teeth or combing your hair.
Yes.
But after that, it changed me. I wanted to get back into art as opposed to mathematics and electrical computer engineering, which I was. So I returned to college in a wheelchair and ended up getting 3 degrees.
And that was at Columbia?
Yeah, Mizzou.
Mizzou?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I ended up with a mathematical science degree, a psychology degree, and an educational psychology degree. And all my humanities I spent on art because I loved it. So shortly after that, my wife died, Brett's mom, I just kind of lost myself in art, and it was very healing for myself.
And here you are today with us. I've had a few different people that have survived, went through a windshield, and he turned to art, and now is one of the top artists being recognized on the markets.
That's great.
In the markets.
Yeah.
So I'm just so happy that you are here today and can share with us not only that, but your art speaks so well for itself. And we'll be editing a lot of those pieces as you and I talk, and Brett and I talk. So I want to thank you so much for sharing that story. And the excitement is when we really get to take a look now throughout the interview at your art. Now, Brett, you being the son, has had your hands full these past years. Would you like to share your feelings on the past and how life has been for you since a 13-year-old boy, and now as a mature young man at 20 years old?
Yeah, okay, I love art, and anything that gives me an emotion or anything that I can turn to and make it into art is how I've kind of done life. The trials and tribulations of what I do, I turn to art. And so it helps me through things like that.
Very therapeutic, as we say, and it gives us a basis, a foundation that we can always turn to, it seems like. We've all had our bumps in the road, shall we say, but it seems like we do turn to that art.
Yes.
And I see in your works also that through Dad's inspiration, Dad's guidance and teachings, that I just really look for you to be competitive, your art with Dad one of these days, and other artists throughout the state of Missouri or wherever your life
I try to keep
has
up.
taken
I try to keep up. I'm learning so much from him.
Yes. Now, a lot of your art now, the beginnings, they can see on Instagram.
Yeah.
And what's your Instagram? You'd like to have people
Yeah,
tune in?
Right now, I'm mainly on Instagram. I have a lot of social media. You can type in me or my father's name
All right.
on Instagram. And mine's Brett Draws. So just Brett and then the word draws.
And Ralph, yours is Art by
Art by Cannell.
Cannell, Cannell.
Yeah, and it's the same on my Google Plus and Pinterest, and then I have a website, it's artbycannell.com.
Yes. Now Pinterest, I've downloaded some, with permission, some of Ralph's artwork, and again, I'll be sharing that with you on the timeline. You'll just be amazed, and we'll be taking a shot of a couple here right after the interview that we'll edit in. Well, Brett, you're the motivation that approached me, you know, after I asked you to be on the program, asking me to let you tell your story, which deals with overcoming these family tragedies through your father's teachings of his love for his son and his art skills. So there's more to it, I know, in the family. You two have really developed a bond over these past years, I can tell. As you tell your story, you know, those selected pieces will be shown. Ralph and Brett, I understand that, like all artists, some of your artwork are for sale. I know, Ralph, you said you didn't know if you'd ever sell any, but I thought maybe someone might be interested. So, that definitely would help a financial situation, probably obligations along the way. So now and then, or in the future, would you like to respond to that as far as?
Well, I mean, initially, I didn't paint for a profit. I just think it's my passion,
Yes.
and when you mix money with your passion, it just it takes away from it.
Yes.
And not that I wouldn't sell some or copies or reprints.
Okay, or prints.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how about commission work? Was that too demanding? Like, if you get a commission, someone described, if I get a commission work, it's like it becomes work and no longer a passion.
No, I mean, I would be interested.
You would be interested in
Sure.
commission work,
Yeah.
so you can get a hold
Any
of.
special requests or
special
anything people would
requests.
have, I'm interested.
And Brett, are you planning on trying to do some commission work,
Yeah.
collaborations with maybe an illustrator? Your artwork at this point, it varies from, shall we say, collages with meaning and different things to look for, but also maybe some caricatures.
Yeah.
I know you met Mr. Jim Dyke, who
Yeah,
is very
he
known.
was a
throughout
good
this
guy.
area.
I liked him.
And he seems to be inspiring you somewhat. So I guess you're looking at hopefully in the future getting your work out there and for sale, or what's your plans?
I like collaborating with artists. I respect the grind and the work ethic of anybody that's trying to pursue their career. So with that being said, I love to work with anybody that would love to work with me.
Excellent.
And that goes for art or anything.
Now, you're also looking at, you'd like to get into male modeling. You're
Yeah.
5'11", which is a great height.
Yeah.
Personally, being a talent agent and working in that industry, movies, what have you, I think you're marketable. So
Thank you.
I want to inspire you to continue with that at some point. And see where that takes you. But
Thank you.
right now, I guess you're really concentrating on the art.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to share with further with our viewers on where you stand now?
Just where I stand now is just this is going to be a long road, and I understand patience is key. So that's where I'm at now, is patience.
Patience, great. Now, Ralph, you have favorites, I'm sure. Do you have a favorite hopefully I pull that one down or those down.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've got a couple favorites. I mean, I brought one of them. It's probably
super.
my favorite. I did some elephants that were
Just elephants.
that I
Now,
enjoyed.
the one that we'll be looking at in a few minutes, which one is that?
It's the people crossing. It's an abstract of people, and there's a couple crossing the street with an umbrella.
In the rain.
Yeah. And then also I brought some birch trees. Yeah.
Now, you're going to be featured, a piece is going to be featured at the Eris
Yeah, the Eris's Pizza I've got
on the High Street in Jeff
there,
City.
and also at the Snob Shop
At the Snob
downtown.
Shop.
So I got two that'll be on display there. If people want to see it, go in and check it out.
At Eris Pizza
Mm-hmm.
on High Street in Jefferson City, Missouri. Now, Brett, do you have a few pieces around?
Yeah, I go to local shops anywhere. I took my father's pieces to Eris's and they loved it and they decided to put him up. So that was a cool moment for me and him to see our artwork in public and people,
So
looking at it.
you're like a promoter for Father.
That's,
really
You're
is.
It's how it
sort of
started.
the legs for Father, and it's a great team. I see it.
It's how it started is just to share his art was the love
Well, it's a
for it.
great team. You and Dad have a collaboration, not only a
Yeah.
bond, but a collaboration.
He's very talented, though. He's doing the
Yes.
skateboards
So
as
it must
well.
be in the blood, maybe, huh?
Maybe. Yeah.
Something's there.
Some of those genes handed down, was that right?
Yeah,
Dad?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for contributing to Spotlight on the Arts. I wish you both the best in the future. And Brett, I want to encourage you to keep on keeping on, as we used to say back in the 60s.
Thank you.
And this, carry on, my wayward son, as Dad probably
Yeah. Oh, you
recognizes, in your pursuit to become an actor, model, or your artwork. So, Ralph, do you have any final words that you could want to inspire or connect
Well, I mean,
with our viewers?
yes, the love of art. I mean, I encourage anyone to find their passion.
Yes.
Brett's mom died,
Yes.
and of course his dad's in a wheelchair, so he's overcome so much, and he's very talented. By the time he's my age, he'll be known.
He'll
a lot
be
of
known.
people will know.
I agree. And that's why I've kind of put a little bit more effort into young Brett Cannell. So we'll be watching you in the future if I can live that long, So again, keep on keeping on,
Thank you.
both of you, if you
Thank
will.
you.
I'll be following you and keeping in touch. We're about out of time, so on behalf of Spotlight on the Arts and JCTV,
Thank you.
I want to say thanks again, Ralph and Brett. It's up another great show of amazing talent featured here on Spotlight on the Arts. A special today. My thanks again goes out to JCTV, producer Gloria Enlow, and the crew. And I thank you, our viewers, for joining us. Look for more Spotlight on the Arts right here on JCTV and on YouTube, don't forget. I'm Rick J. saying, see you next time.